Our speaker of the day will be speaking from Pathways, Presentation Mastery Level 3, Persuasive Speaking for 5 to 7 minutes. Her speech title, The Freedom to Speak Up. The Freedom to Speak Up. Our next speaker has been a Toastmaster since 2005. Her path is presentation mastery, and she will discuss persuasive speaking. Again, help me welcome Toastmaster and 3-time distinguished Toastmaster. I almost called you Dr. Roz Carter. Roz Carter.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Members and guests, I think it's time to put a muzzle on my mouth. Some of you here might think, what? Roz? No. When I was a little girl, I was sassy. I was fussy. I had to say something. I needed the freedom to speak up. But sometimes what I said was not nice. Do you have anyone in your life, including yourself, who says things that you go, ooh, why did you say that? Don't say that anymore. Sometimes we are told not to speak up, not to say anything, because either it's going to be offensive or they don't believe in the same things you do. See, that's the challenge right there. Someone doesn't believe what you have to say is worthy of saying it. Like I said, when I was a little girl, I was feisty. And I said things that maybe wasn't acceptable to some people. But we do have the freedom to speak up. When I was in college, like what's going on right now, I didn't protest, but I watched on the sidelines the people who spoke up and had something to say. They were, you know, I guess you could call it enamored with the idea that somebody needs to hear me. I am in favor of something or I'm against something and I'm passionate about it. And I will be relentless until you believe and accept what I have to say. Persuasion is another form of putting your words on the table. Now, Charles might disagree, Deborah might agree. And Randy might say, well, I don't know yet. I need to be convinced. That's where persuasion comes in. How do you convince someone to believe in what you have to say? We are in a time right now where the possibility of electing a new president or re-electing a current president will take place. How do you feel about that? Will you march in a protest to tell people who differ from your belief something about that person that's running for office I don't like? Yet they could be an uncle, they could be a relative or friend, or maybe the same political party if politics get into play and say, I'm going to vote for them anyway. The rest of the world might not like them, but I do. Elections, as we approach, even in our club and district, can become a protest if people feel strongly about the people that are running for office? Would you protest someone at a conference if they say something or run for office that you don't believe in? I don't think so. I think that in Toastmasters, we have learned to temper our emotions. However, do you feel like you have the freedom to speak up? Someone said that if you don't believe in me or my candidacy, you need to protest it. How do you protest it? Well, in a safe environment like Toastmasters, we choose to vote in favor of or against something or someone. But that's your freedom to speak up, to vote. So I ask all of you who are eligible to vote to come forward and make your vote decision known. I don't challenge those who want to run for office. I don't challenge those who are adamant or relentless, as the word was used earlier. In the face of challenge, you have that right. Sometimes no one else believes you. You're the sole person who believes in what you stand up for, what you speak up for. I don't know anyone here in this room who would get so adamant about it that they would protest. They might nudge their friend on the side and say, hey, I'm voting for so and so. Will you join me? Hey, I disagree with something going on. Do you? I have mentioned silently or in an email or text what I disagree with, but many times I don't broadcast it. How many of you would choose to broadcast how you feel in favor of or against something? I don't see any hands going up. Sometimes we think, well, I'll keep it to myself and I'll express my feelings later. Or I'll just tell my friends silently how I feel about something because I want to get it off my chest. Persuading people to believe in what you believe is not good. However, we have to do that sometimes. This speech project is about persuasion, where I could possibly stand on a pedestal and tell all of you how I feel about something going on. Well, let's just say Toastmasters. Maybe there's something going on in Toastmasters you totally disagree with. You don't like the dues increase. So you're going to tell everybody how terrible it is to increase dues, but yet we still pay it if we want to be a member. Did you protest when the dues increased recently? Did you tell your friends or try to persuade them not to do it? Well, that would fail because then they would not be a member. Sometimes we don't have a choice in what we have to believe in, but you can still express yourself and speak up about it to feel like you got something off of your chest and still maintain your integrity on what you believe in. There are candidates running for office that I don't agree with. And there are some that I totally support. Have you made that decision yet? We have an election coming up this weekend with the district. We will have election of club officers sometime later this month. Are you going to speak up? Do you have someone telling you, don't say that? Don't speak against someone so harshly. Don't tell them what they cannot do. They have the freedom and the right to speak how they choose. Unless it causes bodily harm or creates an environment of fighting, like some of the protesting on the college campuses are doing now. They feel strongly about what's going on in Israel and Palestine. And so the college students have become physical in their protest. I don't agree with the physical harm that comes along with expressing yourself. You do have the freedom to speak up, but why cause harm? Is it because you're so adamant about it that you have to make everyone that you come in contact with believe the same as you? Why do they have to agree with you? Persuasion takes place when you talk about the balance of in favor of or against something. And that's why we have debates. You hear both sides of the story, and then you can decide without someone forcing it down your throat, telling you what you can and cannot do, what you can and cannot say. Have you had anyone, raise your hand, tell you that you cannot believe that, vote on that, say that? Anybody? Yes, I think we all have at some point in our life had challenges, had someone tell us we cannot do something. But are they persuading you to vote their way, or are they giving you enough information so that you can make that decision by yourself? I would rather someone tell me both sides of the story, or I could do the research myself and learn about it so that I persuade myself to make the right decision. I don't need someone to force me to believe something because they believe it. I want to believe it because I have heard it. I've heard both sides. I've weighed the differences. And now I want to make my own decision. If you feel that you have the power and the freedom to speak up, raise your hand right now on any topic. You have the right to speak up, the freedom, the challenge, the persuasion of yourself to say how you believe and what you believe in and the person you want to vote for and the decision, the final decision. Now, the results are in, and it's exactly what you wanted. So now you can say, yay, that's how I voted. That's why I voted, because I wanted to speak up and say things that perhaps made me feel better. But I remember at one of my jobs, there was an election going on, and the people that I worked with were totally against it. I was surrounded by people who did not want to agree with me. They had their own decision. They were not persuaded by me, but they had another opportunity to pick someone else, and that person did not win. And the office was in an uproar. I couldn't believe that I had that many people who disagreed with my vote, with the person that I wanted to see elected. Come on now. Do we have to get in an uproar? Do we have to demonstrate and be relentless in telling people why they should vote the way I do? They have the right to speak and to vote and to do their own decision. I want to tell you that the freedom to speak up rests with you. Take time to analyze both things so that you're not persuaded one way or the other by others who have demonstrated or protested something that you don't feel strongly about. Let them know we have something that's going on in this world that requires us to think and maybe silently encourage others or persuade to do the right thing. Make sure that you're not being adamant or offensive or challenging them to a fight because their opinion differs from yours. Make sure that when you persuade someone, you're telling them both sides and why you feel that way, and let them make their own decision. Madam Toastmaster.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. If you did not feel the burning desire and passion from that speech, I want you to rewatch the playback. That was amazing and a true example of burning desire. I can't wait to hear the commentary, the feedback, the burning desire, the gut, the gusto, the fortitude it takes to not only have your opinion, but as Roz shared, to speak up and speak out, especially in the face of adversity, while you gather your thoughts and get ready for your evaluations. I want you to think about what she shared, the freedom to speak up, the boldness in the face of adversity. As we talked about earlier, a burning desire, remembering your why. You want to be heard, you want to see change. This is a fact I'll share, and then we'll move into our evaluations. Colonel Sanders of KFC, have you heard about him? I've heard this before, that his recipe was rejected 1,009 times, over 1,000 rejections, yet he didn't quit. He knew he had a successful idea on his hands and he wanted to be heard. Just as we heard today, Roz wanted to be heard. Do you want to be heard? What is your why? We will now move into our evaluation portion to give feedback to our speaker. And I'm going to mute because I'm excited. I see our timer has our hand up, or is that for feedback today?
That's to put me at the top of the list so that you
Perfect.
see.
Thank you so much. We have our first hand. I see the smiles. I see the thoughts pondering. Madam Deborah Gillis.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Ms. Roz Carter, you're inspiring us all today. Your speech was so amazing. I believe you touched each and every one in a different way. What I saw in that speech, you challenged every area of people's thoughts. You challenged whether they should speak, they should be silent. And I believe, as I'm looking at everyone today, that resonates to every one of us. There are some here that wants to be silent in their speaking, wants to be just going along with the march, going along with everything. Your voice resonated with each and every one. You woke us up on this bright and early May 1st as we venture on into this next month. Speak up, everyone, she told us, whether or not you believe or not. And you challenged us to if we should be persuaded by others or not. I like that because sometimes we want to speak up, but we want to go along with the crowd. And you challenged us. Thank you, Roz, for that.
Thank you very
so
much. Mhm.
Next, we have Mr. Randy Powell.
Hi, everybody. Hey, I'm in Starbucks, so I'm going to deliver this really quick. Roz, I've been knowing you a long time, and all I'm going to say is that was the most passionate speech, well-constructed speech that I've heard you give in my entire time of knowing you. And I think that you're so passionate about that you ought to make that a mainstay of who you are and what you do. And you can generalize that. Let me tell you, you had a great opening. You used the word like muzzle on my mouth when you told us who you were as a little girl being sassy. Not so nice. Have you ever had a person that was not so nice? Fantastic opening. You identified a problem right away. People are often afraid to speak up. The whole thing is around speaking up, and then you migrated into persuasion. You must have given us 15 powerful words that if you guys, if it resonated with you, you should have written them down. I'll just cover a few of them. Favor, against, relentless, persuasion, convince, temperament, freedom, protest, vote, eligibility, relentless, if I didn't already say that. And moving on, the only thing that I would say that would make this wonderful is get your timing down to a T, because this is something when you close, I thought you were closing 3 different times, and you had me. You had me at the green light, you had me at the yellow light, and then you went on. And the only thing that I would say is you went on, and this should be a 20-minute solid talk that you take out on the road with you. Then you covered all aspects of humanity. And then your call to action was you challenged people that they had the right to protest, but sanely, not insanely. So I say, Mom, fantastic job.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Next, we have Mr. Charles Radney.
Roz, first I'm going to ditto some of the stuff that Randy said, because that is probably the best speech I've ever heard from you. And in hearing that speech and thinking back to the 60s with all the protest marches, I wish you'd been there with us then. I think you could have been the sane person or the sobering person for some of the things that we encountered. As I shared with my wife last night as we were watching the news, I've been both the outside agitator and involved with groups where the outside agitator came in. You would have been welcomed.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Outside and inside agitator. Woo,
Yes.
wow. And next we have our president, Dr. Valencia Jones.
Rob, I had no idea you were the guest speaker, and I had no idea that you were going to speak on this. But this is perfect, as multiple clubs are about to go into the election process. This is what new members need to hear. This is what experienced members need to hear. This is what the world needs to hear as they're going in, as our country's going into elections. This is great. We're about to go into elections in a few days. There's elections in multiple districts. There's elections in multiple counties. There's elections in city government. So definitely what Randy Powell said, this show can go on the road. Thank you very much for your words of wisdom, your experiences, even elementaries. They're going into elections. or who was going to be fifth grade president next year. This was awesome, needed, necessary, and relevant even for those fifth graders that needed to hear this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. You have ignited a fire in all of us and remembering our burning desire, our why, and that fire will break through walls. It will take us through the fear of rejection. And today we are so excited. Thank you so much for sharing your speech with us today on the first platform. Look forward to many others. We will now, please feel free as well to share any additional feedback privately in the chat with our speaker. I want to say keynote speaker. As we move forward, we will now move into our table topics portion of the meeting. And let me tell you about this next Toastmaster. If you have been here in our club over the last year, you will see that she is the epitome of a burning desire. Through challenge, through health challenge, through her comeback journey, through coming back, she has been relentless in her why to make sure that she could participate, be here, show up, and to make sure that she has an opportunity to not only be in the room, but contribute to the room, whether it's internet, whether it's physical, doesn't matter. Her burning desire has kept her going, and she's here today. She has a pre-plan, a backup plan, and we're ready to hear from our table topics master of the day, none other than Melinda Magunzo.
Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Can you hear me? Oh, praise the Lord. Something's going on with the internet here. It's unstable. But when you think about your burning desire, what motivates you? What rocks your soul? What tells you to wake up and I need to push forward and I need to remember who I am. I need to do what I do because what is that? Is that who you are? Well, that's who I am when I wake up every day because I praise God that I woke up. Hello, somebody. Okay. As I've said to you before, I talk about the fact that I learned by having this stroke that rest really is your superpower. So now I'm going to challenge you as we talk about burning desires. My question number one says, what is your burning desire in life? I want to ask somebody if you want to take that on. What is your burning desire in life? Somebody come to the mic. I dare you.
Can I take this?
Yes, go ahead.
Right. So good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My burning desire in life is my ambition, is my desire for growth and the hunger for knowledge and my ability to light up the flame of knowledge inside me. I think that the burning desire is very important because it consists of all these elements such as hope, courage, audacity, determination of a charging warrior, and the perseverance of a dauntless soul. And the burning desire in me is to continuously move ahead to achieve the great heights of hope and the great heights of ideals or accomplishments in me. And I'm with my ambitious personality, I would like to press ahead with the determination of a charging bull to achieve those goals that to achieve those goals despite all the challenges that lies ahead. I believe that in this process, the progress of mine might not be a smooth path. It might not be necessarily a straight line, but it might come in fits and starts. But overall, I believe that I need to progress in my life, both personally and professionally, instead of digressing in my life. And I believe that the curve of my life is always bending and it will eventually bend towards the better end. So my burning desire in life, it comes in multiple elements. It consists of the core of values, the fundamentals of hard work, and the essence of hope. And I believe that the hope is the burning thing, that burning desire inside my heart, the core of my heart and the pit of my belly, to achieve whatever I want with great determination, with a laser-like focus and a military-like concentration in me. And with this clear goal and ambition in the mental construct of my mind, I will press ahead despite all the challenges that lies ahead, despite all odds in my life, to get those things that I want. And those things that I want might be happiness in my life, achievement in my career, my relationship with my family, and also maybe my aim to find a good soulmate, a partner in my life. So that's all from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's go on to question number 2 for time. Question number 2 I give to you says, does your why continue to motivate you daily? Does your why continue to motivate you daily? Somebody else take on question number 2. Yes. Frankie.
I have my hand up as timer, Melinda, not as a speaker.
Okay. Okay. Is it Charles? Charles, is Charles raising your hand?
Yes.
Go right ahead, Charles.
Does my why continue to motivate me daily? My why over the last few years has been to help people grow and to connect people. Dr. George Fraser has a book called Connect the Dots, where he talks about connecting people together who have different talents but don't know each other, so that you're building a stronger community. My late friend, Dumas Barton, who passed in February, was a protege of Dr. Fraser. And because of my relationship with Dumas and knowing the people he's helped and watching how they spoke so highly of him and what he helped them accomplish at his going home ceremony, I feel my job at this point, because I know a lot of those people, is to step into what he was doing and to continue to help those people grow their businesses the way he was doing. So that is my current why.
Yay. Is there a second person that wants to take on question number 2? Does your why motivate you daily? Speak up.
I'll tell you, Melinda, it does. And the proof of that is this. For the last 3 years, I have been getting up between 4 and 4:30, sometimes 5 o'clock every single day. And starting out with my daily ritual, getting prepared for the day, and every day has been focused on accomplishing exactly what Charles said. My goal is to add value to as many people as I possibly can before the big cheese calls me back. And so that's the proof. When you have something that snatches you up out of the bed every single morning and keeps you going until late evening, and still you find time to live your life with your family, with your friends, etc., then you know you're on the right track, and I believe I am. Thank you.
All right. Thank you both for sharing this morning in your questions. I just want to leave you with this thought. When we get burned out because we forget our why, we do it. So instead of doing that, getting burnt out, plant yourself like a seed, make a difference where you are, and your influence and your impact will continue to grow. So plant yourself like a seed and make a difference where you are. And that's my mindset every day. When I get up, I'm on a mission to pull somebody to the next level, whatever I can do to help someone else grow. That's my why. I am motivated to help people grow. So, fellow Toastmasters, be sure to continue. Do not forget your why. Back to you, fellow Toastmasters. Woo! Peace out.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Melinda Magunzo. Amazing, amazing, amazing. It is so wonderful to have heard your voice. Is it just me, or did every person who spoke today just pour oil on the fire for your burning desire? I mean, wow, just showing up today, just showing up and being in the room. I hope you received something to remind you of your why. Again, sometimes we forget, and today we were reminded. Thank you, Melinda. I'm so excited to hear your voice, to hear your cheers, and to hear the gusto in your voice. Again, your burning desire has kept you going, has kept you pushing to make sure that you're in the room. And we appreciate that you're not only in the room, but you showed up today. So thank you, thank you, thank you. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to move into another portion of our meeting. I can't wait to hear from our general evaluator today. He is one that takes what we say, crosses it in a way that I've yet to see with many others. The way he goes in, hears what you say, and pulls out the essence and the root of what you didn't even know you expressed. So I'm excited for our general evaluator today to give us our feedback, the amazing behind the scenes that extracts the greatness out of each of us, Mr. Bond Wayne.
Thank you, April, for that wonderful introduction. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and delightful guests. I think all of you would agree with me. We have had another wonderful meeting. We started the meeting on time because we have such a great sergeant at arms, very professional throughout the meeting, not only just at the starting point. I'm so glad we have such a great team every time when we start in the meeting. And our Toastmaster of the day, April, as always, did such a great job and leading the whole meeting so smoothly. I really loved that part when she gives her commentary throughout different sessions, especially those introduction to each individuals when it comes to their turn to speak in different circumstances. Very insightful, very positive. I really appreciate that. And since we run the meeting for a few minutes as the tech team, I noticed we have a little glitch in our Zoom meeting regarding the way we record. So consequently, I had to log out and log back in. My apologies for this oversight regarding the recording. A quick head up, this recording might be a little bit shorter than usual because we missed the beginning part where we were not able to. What it was we don't have a host in this meeting. Oh, I'm really relieved we didn't have the Zoom bomber this time. We had wonderful visitors and coming up. If we did have Zoom bomber, we will really stuck. We couldn't get them out unless we stop this meeting. So anyway, we came back to track, and the meeting move on. The prepared speech. Wow. Roz, this speech is totally, I agree with other evaluators. I agree with them. This is one of the best speech that I have ever heard from you, even such a established speaker, and you still yet step out of the comfort zone, step out of the box. This speech really helped me to know a Roz, which I had no idea, knowing off until this morning, so adamant and so a little bit aggressive in a very good way to trigger something in depth, deeply in our hearts. I really appreciate that. Especially, I appreciate you made such a strong connection that is relevant in the both way, either to the meeting theme today, the burning desire. Don't forget remembering the why, and also you get the relevance to what's going on right now in our community, because we are heading to the big selection and the big conference where we will see a lot of changes in terms of the leadership. You really made this relevance to both themes, either this club meeting or either a wider range. I really appreciate. I don't know this really come up as a impromptu speaking, or you really prepare for that before we have this meeting. But either way, it's a very insightful speech. And then we have our table topics. Wow, our guest, Mr. Lee, I would say Lee Qing Huang. This is what you spoke was like a prepared speech regarding your daily burning desire. And I love your a little British accent. I'm not sure you since study in UK or whatever reason you stay there. I really love your British accent and all those statements you made. They came out like a part of a poem. Like my desire, burning desire is to grow, to value the core value, and to have the essence of hope. A lot of beautiful statement. I really love that. And then our two following tabletop speaker, I really love their statement. Is your burning desire motivating you every day? And they shared with us their burning desire is about helping people grow. And they share with us the practice that they are doing every day and to contribute to this, not only people around them and also in general for this society. I really appreciate their positive lifestyle and attitude, which we all share and we should learn from them. This is our meeting. So until this point, whatever technical difficulties, or we have Melinda really managed to get her questions out through chat box and managed to stay here. I really appreciate that. All the contribution or the efforts you have made to help us run the meeting. So far, the meeting is doing great. Thank you so much, everyone. And I turn the floor back to April.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Mr. Bon Wang, for that amazing evaluation. We will now call on our timer to give our timers report for our speaker, our amazing table topics, which again, those questions, I hope you really resonate on the responses, the questions that she extracted the goodness out of us. So thank you again for that. We will now have our timing report. And let's give a hand to Frankie. She's always working behind the scenes to make sure that we stay well informed. So just thank you, Frankie, for all that you do on this public platform. We want to say thank you as you give your report.
Thank you, April. Our speaker, Roz, spoke for 15 minutes and 56 seconds. Ask for more time, ma'am. Our table topics. Lee spoke for 2 minutes and 26 seconds. Charles spoke for 1 minute and 1 second, and Randy spoke for 1 minute, 29 seconds, all within time. On our feedback, Deborah spoke for 1 minute, 13 seconds. Randy was 153. Charles was 101. And Val was 132 for a total of 533. And Bond, your evaluation of our meeting was 5 minutes and 28 seconds. Again, you made the mark. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for the timing report. It It's been my pleasure to serve as your Toastmaster of the Day. I'll be honest, one of my favorite parts of being the Toastmaster of the Day is having the opportunity to choose the theme and sitting back and watching all of these brilliant minds come together to see what's going to have come out. Maybe it's selfish, I don't know, but I hope that each of you receives something that you can take with you today and remember your why, and to cultivate and continue to place yourself in position to put fuel on your burning desire. With that being said, it's been a pleasure to serve as your Toastmaster. I will now return control of our meeting to Dr. Valencia Jones.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you to everyone that took on a role today. These meetings definitely are not successful without you. So we need you, the speakers, the timer, those that are listening to your own all counters, doing your own grammarian, our Toastmaster, and our guests. Speaking of our guests, could you please unmute? Introduce yourself. Let us know where you are joining from, a little bit about yourself, and how you enjoyed the meeting or how you felt about the meeting.
Actually, I'm from Malaysia and I joined this meeting because currently I just finished my master's degree, so I'm graduating and I have some free time to join those online Toastmasters club, join all around. I also joined my Toastmasters meeting in my own country, but because I happen to be able to search for this platform, this entrepreneur Toastmasters club, so I just joined for the online session. So I find that this meeting is very fruitful, and I'm glad to see all these very proficient and professional people such as yours, and yeah, it's a great meeting today. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Are you an entrepreneur? Or are you looking to
No,
pursue your
I'm not an
entrepreneur
entrepreneur.
journey? Oh,
No, I'm
okay.
not
I
an
was just
entrepreneur.
curious. Okay. Well, congratulations on finishing your degree. We wish you much success. Please return back to our meeting again. Please also put your information in the chat if you haven't already done so. You can send it privately. And you can either send it to Charles Radney or to myself, and we'll be sure to get it to our VPM. You can also send it to Bon Wayne. You can send it to Bon Wayne. I know he's our VPPR, and he'll be sure to get you the information that you need or our next meeting, but we'll give you a toast, entrepreneurs round of applause. We're happy that you're here today. We did enjoy your comment, your answer, and hope that you come back. We'd love to hear you answer another question. That was great. Welcome. Fellow entrepreneurs, we want to thank April so much for understanding and having us to think more about our why. Why is it that we're here in our Entrepreneurs Club? Why is it that we continue to do the things that we do? Wake up every morning, go to bed at night contemplating why we're going to do the next thing that we do each day, and why we're thinking about who's going to be that next officer. Who are we going to pass the baton to? Those are very, very, very important. Well, with that in mind, are there any other announcements that we need to announce about the Entrepreneurs Club outside of what I've already announced?
Madam President, this is Roz Carter, Vice President of Education. As you know, each meeting has a different lineup of speakers, evaluators, and timers and table topics. Please take a moment to consider what role you want to play at our next meeting on, I believe it's May 15th. Also, on May 29th, May has a third or a fifth Wednesday, and we need someone to lead the mastermind. The 5th Wednesday is mastermind meeting. So don't forget to sign up to be the mastermind leader on May 29th in any role you choose on May 15th. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Any other announcements that we have?
Just a question, isn't James still a guest?
Yes, James is still a guest. Hi, James, how are you? He has not joined yet. James, if you have not done so, please you can send your contact information to Byron Wang as well. If you would like to join, we appreciate you for coming and joining us as well. Would you like to give your name and where you're joining us from one more time?
As you know, my name is Jam. I'm from Uganda. I'm in active religion. I am a Catholic. Wondering every day how I meet because someone talk about it and that's thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I know that you sent a message in the chat that you were having connection issues, and thank you, Frankie, for acknowledging James as well. James is from London. We appreciate him for being here. And is there anyone online that wants to share their why? I know that was Frankie's theme. I know some people may not have had a chance to speak. So before we end the meeting, anyone else that wants to take 1 minute to share their why? I don't see any hands. I can share with you my why. And it comes from a book called Leaders Eat Last by Simon Sinek. That was the ambition or motivation that kind of explains my why. As a leader in life, it has always been my goal to educate, empower, and motivate people to contribute their best to life the same way I've tried to do so through trust, collaboration, and empowerment and team building. Try to do it as a child, a teenager, a young adult, an adult, whether that's in being in the academic decathlon, sports programs, Mensa, and NASB, the National Society of Black Engineers, and MESA, as an educator and Toastmasters and in life. It's important to have trust and collaboration to motivate others to build a positive environment and continuous growth and collaboration through leadership. So with that in mind, our closing thought for the day is to continue to make meaningful change and achieve success. Continue to make meaningful change and achieve success. Until then, I will see you next time. Same Entrepreneurs Zoom link, same Entrepreneurs Day, same Entrepreneurs Time. This is Dr. Valencia Jones, President with the Entrepreneurs Club, signing off. Bye for now.
Thank you. Have a good day.